off possessions. It's been the backbone of that program for 30 years since Coach Izzo, going back to Judd Heathcote, as far as trying to dominate you physically on the glass. And it's not only physicality, you have to have a mental, you have to be mentally tough going into this building as well, understanding they're going to go on runs. In watching all their games so far, I was really impressed with Samford. They got off to a really good start, and then they're up 9, and all of a sudden, within a span of 1 minute, it was tied. They went on a 9-0 run in a minute. And it was turnovers, it was pick sixes, it was playing out of control. It wasn't getting back in transition, and they didn't finish off possessions. That's what got Michigan State back in it, and then they took over the game from there. So they hit shots last night. They hit 11 threes, and they're tough to beat. They're tough to beat when they're shooting the ball like they did last night. I was really impressed with how they played on the road in their first Big Ten game. I thought they were absolutely terrific. They were prepared, and they went in there and I thought executed their game plan to perfection. So it's a team that's playing really good basketball right now. They do have great depth, and they've got a lot of different things that they can do as far as throw out versatile lineups. And I thought Carr was as important as anybody last night. And they sub him, play him at the 4. And if you don't get back in transition, he's going to embarrass you with getting on the rim. So, yeah, just obviously I have all the respect in the world for this program, having a kid that played there, and, we're going to have our hands full on Saturday.
What do you have to do to counter that physicality?
Well, it's a mindset, and if you don't make first contact, they're getting it. They will drive you all the way under, almost into the stanchion, and if you allow that to happen, it's going to be a long afternoon. And, again, it starts in transition. You have to get back. But then if you don't make first contact when the ball goes up in the air, it's going to be a really painful afternoon. And, it's you can't simulate it. We're doing the best we can to get our scout team to get the ball up the floor in a hurry, knowing that when we get there, and this has happened pretty much every time I've played in the Breslin Center, you come over in the first time out, you say, guys, I told you they were fast. And you just can't simulate it. But it starts there, and then, again, taking care of the basketball and finishing off possessions. Those are the 3 keys.
And Fred, through the first 7 non-conference games, what has stood out the most to you growth-wise about your team?
Yeah, I definitely think we're moving in the right direction. I like the strides we're making. Offensively, we've done some really nice things. We played under control much better than we were earlier in the season. I thought we were forcing things in the paint way too much in the early portion of our non-conference. I thought we did a great job of controlling tempo in our biggest game in Omaha at Creighton, and we're getting off to better starts. And that's going to be very important, especially in an early game on Saturday afternoon. The one exception to that was St. Mary's, where we dug ourselves a big hole and did a great job climbing back, but we can't do that. We can't do that in a true road game against a great team like Michigan State. So I do think we're growing. Our offense is trending in the right direction, but again, we haven't faced anybody like what we will see on Saturday. And it's been a fun group to coach. They've been very coachable. They're trying. They're trying to go out there and execute game plans, and we're going to have to do that to perfection to have a chance to win on Saturday.
How's Barricade?
He did a little bit live today. He was non-contact yesterday and did a little bit. We'll see how he responds to it, and then we'll see what he can do tomorrow. So it's still up in the air on whether he plays on Saturday, but we are getting him a few reps out there in practice. So, it's going to be a big afternoon to see how he responds to the treatment, and then we'll see where he is tomorrow. If it doesn't happen Saturday, we got a full week before we play the following game against Indiana.
You can't go. How much does that responsibility of rebounding and physicality diffuse to the other guys, especially in some of the smaller lineups?
Yeah, I mean, Burke is one of our better rebounders, and especially when you play the smaller lineup, I think that gives us great flexibility, and it's so for Burke, if he doesn't play, to answer your question, it would put us in a tough position. But again, hopefully we'll see where he's at tomorrow, and we'll make the decision after that. But we're not going to make this decision based on one game. It's for the long-term health of Burke and for our season.
How careful do you have to be with that, just with the nature of the injury?
Yeah, groins, any type of muscle pull they're tricky. Everybody reacts differently to them. It's something where he has made progress. He was having trouble getting around that morning after on, I think it was Thanksgiving, and he's steadily made growth, and he's moving in the right direction. The last thing you want to do is put him in a compromising position to have a setback, and now you're dealing with a lingering issue for pretty much the rest of the season if you don't handle it the right way. So, if he's ready, we'll throw him out there. I don't know how much, but if he's not, then we'll take a cautious approach.
You hosted Michigan State at a similar point in the schedule last year. What did beating them here in Lincoln do for your team last year?
Well, it was a really good game. Rink was terrific. I thought Rink was phenomenal, and going back and watching that one of making plays in the pocket, and again, he was our leading assist guy a year ago. So it's a completely different team. I don't know how much, if it even matters with this year's group, but they've got a completely different team as well, and that's just how it's going to be. Next year we'll play them, and we're probably both going to have completely different teams as well. That's just how it goes. But it was important. It was important to get that win in our building. It was a great win for our team last year, but I don't think there's anything we can take from it in this year's game.
With Gavin, what do you got to do to get his confidence going? It seems like he's just a little timid or just off a little bit.
Yeah, just the biggest thing, he's shooting the ball well in practice. He's coming back in, getting a ton of extra work. Nobody wants it more than Gavin does to get it going. And I think all it takes is to hit a couple in a game, and now you're off and running. You just need to see that thing going in the basket. Needs to get a layup, needs to get a free throw, something to get him going and get a little confidence. So I'm telling you, from a guy that went through a lot of struggles in his life, there's not a worse feeling. And, just trying to talk him through it, trying to keep him confident, get him full speed reps. And, it's going to happen at some point. I don't know when, but we still have confidence in Gavin, and he's going to play some important minutes for us the rest of the season and hopefully have some big moments for this team. So, the biggest thing as a shooter, seeing that thing go in the basket again, it does a world for your confidence.
Could you speak to Connor's play a little bit? I mean, he's kind of been on a heater. Has it been a confidence thing, or has it been you guys trying to get him in the offense more a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, once you hit a few, you're going to run actions to try to keep them going, and I give our guys a lot of credit as well, especially when you come down the floor and flow. They're doing a great job of finding him, and when we run actions, they're getting him open on screens, offensive rebound kickouts. They're finding him, and it's been fun to see Connor get it going the way he has. We needed it. We needed somebody to take the lid off the basket with the way we shot the ball early in the season, and you see what happens when you hit a few of them. That just finds a way to radiate through the rest of the team. And he and Bryce getting off to good starts. Jawan did a couple early in games, and hopefully we can keep that going. We're going to have to if we're going to have a chance to win. But I just love Connor's confidence the way he's playing right now, and we'll continue to run actions for him.
Does it help having a lot of veteran guys, I guess, with your first road game that wasn't a 45-minute bus ride?
Yeah, I think so. But, again, we're not going to play in a lot of buildings like Creighton. Congrats to them on an unbelievable win last night against Kansas. And, that's a great first win for us on the road. We did the same thing last year at Kansas State, and then we went through a good portion of our early conference schedule where we did not compete very well on the road or didn't finish games. Had a chance, Minnesota, Rutgers, a couple others. But, winning on the road should do wonders for your confidence, knowing that you can do it. I guess having veteran players, sure, that does help. And having guys that have been through this league on the road. I think the only guy really that played meaningful minutes in the Breslin Center is Jawan. And, it's a whole different level. That, Purdue, all the great venues in our league. So it's an awesome first test for our guys. And we're going to learn a lot about ourselves, of where we stack up against one of the top teams in the Big Ten.
Just entering Big Ten play, you got a lot of new faces, but some of them have already played in the Big Ten, substantial games, and others have played in power conferences. Just that experience playing at that level, does that make this entering the first taste of Big Ten play a little less daunting for this team, maybe compared to some others?
Oh, it's still plenty daunting, Robin, with their roster and their lineup. But you're 100% right. I was talking more about the guys from our team that's played in the Breslin Center. Obviously, Connor's played there. Gavin has played there. Aaron played there when he was at Iowa. Actually had a really good game, at Michigan State. So we do have guys that know what we're up against and the environment and atmosphere that we're going to walk into. We're going to go shoot at the arena tomorrow and do some station work, watch some film, and just do everything we can to prepare our guys as best as possible. And again, it's all about how we start. And we cannot get off to a slow start in this game, in any game in the Big Ten, if we want to win.
Do you see any similarities between Jace
The kid's really good. I'll say that. I played against his dad a little bit in the NBA, and he's one of the best. I mean, athleticism, ability to make shots, absolutely incredible player. So yeah, I do see some similarities as far as his ability to shoot the basketball. He's shooting over 50% from the 3-point line, and I've been really impressed with his confidence and overall demeanor.
You guys healthy otherwise besides Bridget?
Yep, everybody else has practiced. Yep, thanks.